Good morning, everyone. Hello. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Let's get you up to speed with some news that you could use right now.
Hello there, beautiful people. I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Let's get the high energy started to make this hump day unforgettable.
Happy Wednesday, I'm Monique Tuzon, bringing you some morning sunshine. Join us in the next hour for stories and conversations that matter.
That's not fair. You're hiding your puns, and now I can't make fun of them
Yes,
before
exactly
we start.
why.
Actually,
That's
they
why.
used your pun on my intro, so I had to change it.
Oh my goodness. You know what, guys, all right? This is a breach of trust
It'll never end.
in the morning,
You're
okay?
changing our scripts without us knowing. That's a breach of trust.
I didn't change your scripts.
Did you change it yesterday
He
with a
changed
pun?
it.
Only mine.
Oh, I thought you changed ours. I was like,
No.
excuse
No,
me.
I did not. I did not.
Rude.
I will never touch your words. But you know what? Either way, we have a lot to talk about today.
Yes.
We have I was gonna make a joke about our lives beyond this show, but then we're also going to talk about our lives beyond this life later on in the show
That's
as well.
going to be very interesting. I think it's the most sensitive topic that we'll be talking about ever since this show started.
I don't know, kasi I think some feelings won't be hurt later
na?
on.
Kasi hindi
Kasi
na.
wala
Hindi
na.
na ma-hurt.
I'll leave the jokes to you guys for this one.
Wala na, hindi na ma-hurt.
Sobrang thin ice, okay? Sobrang
Kasi
thin ice
dense na.
mamaya. But then, it still should be really interesting. We got a
Yes,
packed
yes.
show. We also talking about online dating a bit later on.
Ooh, yes.
Kasi apparently the Gen Zs are not taking to dating apps like us millennials used to.
Yeah, we used to use it a lot.
Yeah. Sorry, Mo, we
before.
used to
I
use
know, I'm
it.
like, we used to. So I don't know what Gen Zs are doing,
I think
but we'll
maybe
find
because
out.
after the pandemic, people just want to really meet each other in person.
You think? I don't think they want to meet though.
They do.
Like most people are more like.
That's the reason why they go to run clubs, to meet people like personally.
Hindi, pero millennials
That's
yung
different.
tumatakbo
Yeah,
sa run
I know,
club
that's
eh.
why I was like, they're not Gen
No, but you know
Zs.
what, we'll see. We'll talk about that a lot
Yeah,
later. But
later,
first, we got
later.
a lot of news to run into.
Yes, let's check on the major roads in Metro Manila at this hour. Here is the situation along Commonwealth Avenue in Quezon City. On the left side of your screens are vehicles going to Sandigan Bayan. Do watch out for that counterflow on the innermost lane where you will be slowing down a bit. Moderate traffic on that lane. That intersection of Tandang Sora, that's where it starts all the way to Philcoa. Now, on the right side of your screens are vehicles headed to Quezon Memorial Circle, stepping on the brakes on that lane as traffic is already starting to build up. Now, here's a look at the situation along the northbound lane of EDSA Taft Avenue. Left and center aisles are the vehicles headed to Makati. On the right side of your screens are vehicles going to Pasay. Right side, still a good time to drive. Left lane, moderate to heavy traffic already starting at this time. Now, a reminder to motorists, the expanded vehicle number coding scheme is in full swing. It's Wednesday, so vehicles with license plates ending in 5 and 6 should be off the road from now until 10 a.m. and again later from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
From the roads, let's check on our weather report. Cloudy skies with isolated rain showers and thunderstorms prevail over Metro Manila. Now, it'll be the same for Batanes. Now, this is caused by the northeast monsoon. Cordillera, Ilocos Norte, Ilocos Sur, and the rest of Cagayan can expect scattered rains and localized thunderstorms due to a shear line. People in northern Luzon can expect moderate to strong winds, while the rest of the country could feel light to moderate winds. Now, tune in to Weather HQ at 9 a.m. where we bring you updates whatever the weather, only here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Now, a bit of reminder from Meralco in time for the holidays. Prioritize electrical safety and energy efficiency. Meralco crews will be on standby 24/7, even on Christmas Day, to address any electricity concerns. Key safety measures include unplugging appliances when not in use, inspecting Christmas lights for damage, avoiding overloaded outlets, using proper tools for light installation, and keeping a fire extinguisher ready at home.
Now, this is interesting. The Earth shifted a little bit on its axis, literally. A recent study shows rampant global groundwater pumping has caused the planet to tilt 31.5 inches. Geophysicist Seo explains the redistribution of groundwater has caused the drift of the rotational pole. His study, covering data from 1993 to 2010, highlights behaviors around rising sea levels. He also added the study poses the need to manage human needs and environmental conservation to protect the planet's delicate balance. While the shift does not directly affect seasons, it poses potential implications on climate patterns, a NASA scientist explained. Now that's pretty interesting. It probably adds to the effects of climate change, right?
Yeah.
This tilt. I wonder what happens if it tilts too much, the planet.
Yeah, no, I mean, like they mentioned the potential changes, climate
Yeah,
changes. But
yeah.
again, I'm just so curious to see how it happened because rampant global groundwater pumping.
Groundwater pumping, yeah.
That is, I did not realize that pumping that much groundwater could actually affect
Tilt the earth. I
changing
know, that's
the-
so crazy.
Yeah, kasi siguro it's changing the balance of everything, right?
I'm stunned.
I-
This
I
news
wish
piece,
I
I was
knew.
just like, wow, this is
It's
so
interesting.
interesting. I want to read more
Yeah.
about it,
according
actually.
according to the report, it says redistribution of groundwater.
Yeah.
And I don't know about the balance of it all because we are floating, but in space. But then you know, I have no scientific idea of how it is, and of course, we want to learn more about it.
Yes, yes. But
eventually.
But you know what would be
so it is possible, right? Like,
Oh,
that
it
the
is
Earth
happening.
tilts.
31 point.
So everything
Yeah. I
we
don't
do
know, yeah.
to the
0.5
planet really
inches.
has an effect on the planet itself, right?
But what would be so
31.5
cool is
inches.
if we get seasons. I feel like that's the only good thing if we tilt.
Oh,
if
yeah.
the Philippines
I don't know
get
about
cold.
that.
Like we get
Ecology.
winter,
The
but
ecology.
that's gonna be
Yeah.
scary because that's like a major
know.
tilt.
Biodiversity is gonna be hit if it
Actually.
changes.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Anyway, we'll go on first to some serious business. Now, we asked the question, who is Mary Grace Piatos? Now, the question even the Philippine Statistics Authority can't answer after looking for records at the civil registry system. Some lawmakers believe this information could beef up the impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte. Sandro Ochona has more.
The House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability have sought the help of the Philippine Statistics Authority for clues on the identity of Mary Grace Piatos, a name combining a popular restaurant and a popular snack brand. Mary Grace Piatos was among those who signed acknowledgement receipts for the confidential funds of the OVP. But the civil registry system yielded no records on anyone born, married, or died with that name.
Finally, na-clear na rin na wala talagang ganong tao. At ano ang pinapakita nito? Na ang mga opisyal sa Office of the Vice President, led by no other than Sara Duterte, ay nag-imbento ng mga resibo para madepensahan yung hindi tamang paggamit ng confidential funds. Ngayon, meron na talagang konkretong patunay na hindi ginamit ng tama ang pera ng bayan.
This may also confirm what some members of the committee believed all this time.
At kung sa pagkakataong ito, gawa-gawa ang mga dokumento ni Mary Grace Piatos, gawa-gawa si Mary Grace Piatos, nanakawan po ang taong bayan.
As Sidre stressed, confidential funds are not absolutely confidential, and using fictitious names and signatures is not an excuse.
Hindi ho absolute ang confidentiality. Klaro po ang guidelines sa Joint Circular sa paggamit ng confidential funds. Ang reports po lahat yun, confidential, pero hindi ho sinabing magpeke kayo ng acknowledgement receipts. Hindi po pwedeng sabihin, pekein nyo kasi confidential yan.
Some members of the House of Representatives agree that this information could add up to the existing impeachment complaint.
When we study the grounds for impeachment, merong betrayal of public trust, graft and corruption, misuse, misallocation of funds, possibly this could be used as evidence. Yun lang ang nakikita kong implications.
Asidre also clarified the 2023 Independent Auditor's Report released by the Commission on Audit does not include the questionable 2022 confidential funds by the OVP, as some online posts claim this could be used to trash the impeachment complaint against the VP. Meanwhile, Bayan Coalition has confirmed their organization will also file an impeachment complaint Wednesday afternoon against the VP with at least 50 complainants. Zandro Ochona, BNC.
So what happens next now that an impeachment complaint has already been filed against the second highest leader in the country? Agatha Gregorio tells us in her special report, a long journey lies ahead for this impeachment in Congress.
The impeachment process begins with filing an impeachment complaint at the office of the House Secretary General. The complaint must be verified or sworn to before the SecGen. The Secretary General then has 10 days to verify the complaint before it is included in the Chamber's order of business. After the complaint is referred to the Speaker of the House, the Committee on Justice will check if this is sufficient in form and substance. This means the form should be correct and the complaint should have basis. If insufficient, this would be returned to the SecGen. But if sufficient, the respondent will be given a copy of the resolution or complaint, and they will be made to reply within 10 days. If the respondent denies the accusations, the complainant may file a reply. Once all relevant documents such as affidavits and pleadings are received, the committee will hold a hearing if there are sufficient grounds for the impeachment. There are 6 grounds for impeachment: betrayal of public trust, culpable violation of the Constitution, bribery, treason, graft and corruption, and other high crimes. After the hearing, the committee will submit to the House a report with their recommendations within 60 days. And should most members of the committee agree that there is probable cause, they will submit a resolution setting forth the articles of impeachment. 1/3 of the members of the House should approve this resolution before endorsement to the Senate. The upper chamber will transform into an impeachment court with the senators as judges and the Senate president as presiding judge. The impeachment trial will commence at 2 o'clock in the afternoon every day, excluding weekends and holidays, until there is a final judgment. 2/3 of all members of the impeachment court must find the respondent guilty. If the respondent is not found guilty, it will take an entire year before a new impeachment case can be filed. But if the respondent is guilty, the official will be removed from office and will be barred from holding any other position in government. Agatha Gregorio, BNC.
The Trade Department believes the Philippines is unlikely to be affected by potential tariff hikes under the incoming Trump administration. DTI Undersecretary Seferino Rodolfo says trade ties between Manila and Washington are balanced and healthy. He explains countries with significant trade deficits with the U.S. are more likely to be targeted for additional tariffs. Rodolfo adds the DTI, alongside Secretary Frederick Go, Special Assistant to the President for Investment and Economic Affairs, is actively engaging with Washington to strengthen economic ties and prepare for the changes under a Trump presidency.
Now, still in the United States, the White House on the defensive as criticisms mount over U.S. President Joe Biden's full and unconditional pardon for his son Hunter. It says the move was done in part due to concerns that Biden's political opponents would continue to persecute his son even after he leaves office in January. Biden believes Hunter was selectively prosecuted and unfairly targeted by his political rivals. His surprise move was panned by both Republicans and Democrats, who say it threatens to undermine public trust in the rule of law. Hunter was prosecuted for tax offenses and gun charges after being targeted for years by Republicans in Congress.
Now heading on to entertainment news, a new collab alert. K-pop group Twice teases a song with American female rapper Megan Thee Stallion. The highly anticipated iconic collaboration will be released on December 6th, Friday. Titled Strategy, the track will be the first of their upcoming mini-album of the same title. Megan previously collaborated with Twice in the remix of her hit song Mamushi. Twice was last in the Philippines in June, where they met with Philo once in a fan meet.
Now on to the star-studded British Fashion Awards. Rihanna, Glenn Powell, Daisy Ridley, and Gemma Chan dazzling fans and paparazzi at London's Royal Albert Hall. Also in attendance, renowned fashion editor Anna Wintour and tennis greats Venus Williams and Maria Sharapova. The prestigious Designer of the Year award was handed to Jonathan Anderson for the second time in a row. The annual event is presented by the British Fashion Council and celebrates the role of fashion in culture and entertainment.
Meanwhile, Kerry Washington receives her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Washington's name was cemented in entertainment history with her parents Earl and Valerie watching proudly. Her longtime friends, Hollywood powerhouse producers Shonda Rhimes and Tyler Perry, were also in attendance. Washington's star was the 2,796th on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
My mom and dad also taught me to dream. They taught me to believe and to pursue. And so here we are. Mom, Dad, can you believe it? An actual star? You made a wish and it came true. And now I am swirling in a galaxy of other stars. This Kerry Washington star, this is our star. It is your star as much as it is mine. So thank you for being on this cosmic journey with me.
Now, when we return, we meet the millennial who is redefining the funeral service industry, blending family tradition with modern innovation in a business built on compassion and care. Don't go away. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. And welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. And I cannot wait for this next segment in particular because it is full of life. We are going to be talking to a third-generation leader of a family-owned funeral home. She brings a fresh perspective to a legacy of compassion and service, balancing modern ideas with timeless traditions. She continues to redefine how families are supported during life's most challenging moments. To tell us more, we have Miss Bettina Jose, Managing Director for Arlington Memorial Chapels and Crematory. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, Bettina. Good
It's a
morning.
beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day. It is. I have so many questions about this business, your
most people
profile.
do.
Yes.
So first and foremost, I know it's a family business, but then were you always attracted to being part of this family business? It's one thing to really run it, but then of course you still require the passion to actually continue it. And a funeral service, a crematory, is probably not the first choice millennials would have.
Definitely. And I think the short answer for that would be no. It was never my first choice. But I think it's very important also to know that I grew up with a business. As you mentioned, it's a family business. So I have distinct core memories, playing around the funeral home with my siblings. We would use the casket selection room as hide and seek.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. But I was never afraid of the business, is the thing.
My question now is, okay, wait lang. Ang dami kong tanong, okay? Nag-hide and seek ka ba using the caskets?
Di naman. I mean, that was a pristine collection of caskets, so bawal. But
Okay.
we would often use the office. I mean, to us, it was just our dad's office. We
Really?
Right.
Okay.
didn't think of it as, like a scary funeral home. So really, the funeral industry was never scary to me. But when I graduated from college, I didn't really set out to join a funeral home. Like most university graduates were thinking of the corporate path. So that was really my path first. I joined corporate life first, and maybe 2 or 3 years into my career path, didn't take me very long to realize that wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't what was for me. I wanted something with more meaning. So I know millennials often get a bad rap for switching careers all the time, you know, but I think what's common for millennials is that we're looking for work that's meaningful. We want our work to mean something. We want to feel that what we're doing actually makes a difference. So it also came at a right time because when one of my aunts passed away in 2019, it seemed like the perfect time for me to come and help out. But it wasn't a linear path for me.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't something that I set out to do right away. But definitely has been an interesting journey for me.
I did not know that was our reputation, Mo. The millennial
I
reputation.
thought that was a Gen Z thing.
No,
I was
come
like,
on,
hold
guys.
on.
No, come on.
Millennials have
I don't
the
know.
best
Is that-
reputation.
Is that your reputation, Anne?
Right? No.
Millennial ba ako? Gen X yata
No, I'm
ako eh.
asking if that's our reputation.
But I thought it was a Gen Z thing, is
Yeah, I
switching
thought it was a
careers.
Gen Z thing too.
Because I know the generation of the millennials, they're known for innovation, technology. So that's my next question, actually. How do you apply this to this kind of business that's very traditional?
Yes, you know what? That was one of the major challenges that I encountered when I first entered the industry, because it is very traditional. And the thing is, I come from a communication technology background. So
Yeah.
definitely I understand the power of digital tools in any industry. But when I entered the funeral industry, I had to respect the pace at which they were ready to accept, you know, the use of digital tools. So I think the pandemic really was the biggest catalyst for using digital tools, because every industry was forced to pivot and you know, sort of understand just how powerful and how useful they were going to be. Because, for example, in the pandemic, obviously work from home was not really a setup for people in our industry. It's not exactly like we can take that work home, but we definitely had people who had to stay home. They were, you know, elderly or whatnot. So we had to figure out how to continue doing our job using the digital tools. One of the major shifts that we did was really starting to digitalize our records, our packages and everything, because people weren't coming over to the funeral home, but they definitely needed our services. So we needed to understand how to harness the power of digital tools, and by using things that were free of charge, you know, like Viber, Google tools and whatnot. So I think it was really the pandemic that was one of the major catalysts in that movement. So it's really a matter of balancing that and making sure that you're not disruptive to the tradition or to the way things are usually done in the industry, and just trying to slowly introduce that and make it useful to the people who are in the industry.
Yeah,
Do
I
you
mean,
think-
sorry, you got to be respectful by using the tools as well, because it's such a sensitive industry also. I mean, like, but to be fair to you, you did mention that everyone shifted to work from home. Said, work from funeral home.
Yes, still a home naman.
I'm making jokes.
I know.
No, I was just gonna ask you, do you think that's the biggest contribution we, I guess, or you as a millennial have made in this field, or would you say it's something else?
I mean, definitely one of the bigger contributions we've made. But I think what we bring to the table, mainly as millennials, is really, like what you guys said earlier, it's really the innovation.
Yes.
Because it is a very traditional space. I think what we do bring to the table is that creativity. I mean, the funeral industry is quite hard to play around with. You can't get too creative, especially in the Philippines. We are predominantly Catholic. You know, our traditions are quite set. The way we do funerals is pretty much, the way it's always been done. But millennials are slowly introducing a new way of doing things, and I think maybe that's the bigger contribution. It's thinking of new ways to honor the lives of those who have passed on before us. So yes, definitely the digital tools and digitizing a lot of the way we do things and the manner of which we run the business, definitely. But I think it's also a bigger contribution is really trying to push the boundary a bit and see how can we better honor the lives of loved ones. Does it always have to be this heavy or sad? Like, how can we really genuinely celebrate the lives of those who have passed on? And I think that's a bigger contribution.
Did you see any pushback when you tried to introduce more technology into the industry?
100%. I mean, like, I think anytime there is change, there's always going to be a bit of pushback, especially in an industry where it's predominantly older people in the industry. I mean, a lot of the people I work with are in their late 40s or 50s. I'm one of maybe, 1 out of 10 people in the company who are in their 30s. So definitely there was that pushback, and it's a continuous challenge, I think, to try and make them more comfortable with using digital tools and whatnot. As in any kind of change, I think it's important there's that hand-holding, letting them know that this change will benefit them, and really being patient with those who are trying to learn it.
Bettina, how do you think the millennials are viewing the funeral service industry? And what would you say, what do you what can you tell them to change their misconceptions about this industry?
You know, one of the first things that I'm always asked when I'm meeting new people is like, oh, what do you do for work? And I'm always torn between thinking like, should I just say that I'm in sales and marketing, or should I give them the real answer that I run a funeral home? Because it's definitely always a conversation starter. How many 30-year-olds or millennials do you really know, or do you meet who work or run a funeral home? It's not exactly the sexiest industry. I understand that. I know it's not very appealing. When you think of a funeral home, you're thinking, you know, it's very drab and it's dark and it's heavy. And while a lot of the work that we do is heavy because we're helping people through one of the most painful, crucial times in their lives, a lot of the work that we do is also very light and meaningful. And I think that's something that people need to see about our industry, is that side of it, the kind of effect that we leave on families. You know, when we're trying to help them through a very tough time, that is a very difficult and rare thing to find in other industries, being able to help people and impact people that way. And I wish that's what more people saw, or more millennials saw about our industry, is the effect that it has on other people and the kind of meaningful work you're able to do. Because you're not really just a cog in a machine, you know, what you do and the work you do has an actual impact, not just on the company, on the industry, but also on the people you serve. So while, yes, I understand that, you know, it's quite a heavy industry, or like that's at least our reputation, I wish people saw the effect that we had on people and the light that we bring to different client families that we serve. And I think if we try to market ourselves that way, more people might be joining the industry.
Has there been like a fondest memory for you working in this industry?
Ang hirap nun,
I know. But I mean, she said they bring light, they bring meaning.
Yes.
So is there a particular time that you remember?
I mean, I can't pinpoint one particular client family, but because I do work for a family business, I think every moment that I get to work with my father is always really a core memory for me. I think, it's important to know that it's a big chunk of why I decided to join the company as well. I adore my father, and I think he's constantly inspiring me to be a better businesswoman as well. So I think it has a lot to do with that too. I mean, a lot of the memories, or fondest memories I have, are, you know, just dreaming up new things with someone who's from a completely different generation. So like bridging that gap and working together with not just my mentor, you know, someone who's my father. These are years I'll always cherish, having been able to work with them. And I think that's always going to be at the top of my list when I think about this time in my career.
And on that note, good morning, Tito. Of course, we talk about the contributions that you've made already and the technology that you're introducing, digitizing everything as well. How much room for growth is there, in your opinion, to actually push it even further? Are there any plans that you have in mind to even modernize this and maybe even push the envelope in a way that most people would not expect?
Definitely. I think right now, especially as we're like in the 2020 era, you know, there is so much space for growth. And we've been attending conferences abroad and whatnot, and I'm seeing so many new trends. And there are younger people now joining the industry. You know, albeit not that many, there is a good chunk of us who are starting to understand just how much space there is to innovate and, you know, revolutionize the industry. And I think, like, for example, artificial intelligence will play a very big part in the way we deliver service. You know, I think because, like, for us, we're a small firm, trying to serve client families in the same brand of service Arlington does has been difficult, you know, but that's something that we want to replicate. And I think that digital tools is just the beginning. I mean, we're just seeing the start, really. So I do think there is space to push the envelope, and without giving too much, of course, to the competition, I do think we're just beginning.
I like how she's still keeping industry secrets.
I know, right?
Yes.
Even so, but then a lot of exciting things for that 100%. Now, for those who want to reach out to you, find out more about your business, and to be able to contact you or maybe even partner with you for future work, how can they reach out to you?
So, I mean, Arlington is very active in social media. It's Arlington PH on Facebook and on Instagram. My personal handles are Bettina Jose, and I have my emails there as well. So I'm very open, you know, to working with other people and collaborating. Hopefully, more people my age are people who are open to work with me as well.
people our age, Bettina. 1, 2, 3. People our age, all right? I just want to clarify.
We'd love to. He included me actually, so thank you, Pao.
He was Pao, me,
1,
and
2, 3,
Bettina.
4.
Okay,
Let's include you too.
let's not go into specifics here. But once again, Bettina Jose, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining
Thank you
us.
so much for having me. Thank you.
Well, don't go away because up ahead, we talk about the latest shakeups in online dating world. Don't swipe right. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back after a break. A new trend is shaking up dating apps industry. Could this be the start of a downhill for online dating? Bumble on Monday said its chief financial officer and chief marketing officer are stepping down in the first quarter of 2025 amid growth challenges. Bumble also reported its first quarterly sales decline since going public in 2021. This despite their intensified promotional efforts to attract younger users.
On social media, a string of users have spoken out about quitting dating apps, citing the need to organically meet new people. Others have also shared a cycle of negative experiences and the overall feeling that the apps offer transactional interactions. A new Forbes health survey says 79% of Gen Zs feel burnt out by dating apps. The innumerable amount of competition has made users feel a bit lost and dispensable to other singles.
Now, the most culpable for the burnout, according to the survey, is ghosting, followed by catfishing, then love bombing, gaslighting, cheating, as well as abuse, racism, or sexism. While online platforms had been instrumental to meet partners for many people worldwide, this downward trend begs the question, is it time for Cupid to get back to work? Well,
I think the answer to that is yes.
I think it depends.
I enjoyed the online dating scene back in the day when I was single. I think Paolo did too.
Yeah, I did. I mean, look, I'm looking at the survey right now from Forbes. It says here 70% of people who met someone on a dating app actually led to romantic and exclusive
that's a
relationship.
I have a friend who actually met her husband through a dating app. And he was a foreigner. She's Filipina, he was a foreigner, and then they met up, and now they're married, they have a kid. So there are some success stories from the dating apps. There are also,
Not so
scary,
successful stories,
not so
yeah.
successful,
I mean, I think it also depends on your intention with a dating app, right? Like when you meet somebody, I think you just have to be really forward with them if this is what you want, like just something casual, or you're looking for something serious. So I think it's just also, you have to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, for those who are wondering, so the reason why there's a bit of a downward trend, it's also affecting the actual market. I think Bumble and Tinder are the two major ones, and the money involved in it has plummeted since 2021, since after the pandemic.
Yeah.
And that is because the generation who really invested in the dating apps was actually our generation, the millennials. And the Gen Zs are not as... Well, they're not spending as much on dating apps.
Yeah,
Right.
because people just, like I mentioned a while ago, people just want to go out and actually meet the person they want to see.
And kasi subscription-based din yung dating apps.
Yeah, it's expensive. It can get expensive.
It can get expensive, right? So the services with dating apps, it's not just, okay, you get the app and it's free, right? Some
Right.
people would want the other features to be a part of it and try and, to curate your choices more.
Yeah.
So I guess people are seeing that less as a necessity to actually pay for.
Tsaka kasi wala ng pandemic, so people can go out and join run clubs.
I'm not so sure about...
I've been seeing articles about it that run clubs are like the new dating.
I don't think it's just run clubs in general. I think it's the community, not just run clubs.
Getting to know other people, joining communities, and actually meeting people organically, right? Yeah.
That's the way to go now, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, but at the same time as well, I mean, I think it depends on, I guess, needs must, right? I mean, especially if let's say you're relocating or you're in a new place for the first time, new city, or different place in life as well. So I personally think that the youth is still there. Maybe less people are paying for it. Less people are getting to be a part of or maybe there are more avenues right now because remember, Tinder and Bumble were big even before the pandemic.
Yeah, before the
Way
yes,
before the
yes.
pandemic, and there was a lot of peak. I think that was probably around the peak of it anyway.
Okay, guys. Before we argue more about this topic, we got more stories for you after the break. Find out Oxford's Word of the Year for 2024 and see how a banana disrupted the international art scene. Stick with us. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. It's time for another road check. Here's a look at EDSA White Plains. On the left side of your screens are vehicles going to Shaw Boulevard. On the right side of your screens are vehicles headed to Cubao. If you are heading to Cubao, things are still free-flowing on that lane. Opposite side, moderate traffic at this time. Let's check the situation this time along Commonwealth Avenue in Quezon City. Left side are vehicles going to Sandigan Bayan. On the right side are vehicles headed to Quezon Memorial Circle. Moderate traffic on the left side. Right side, wow, heavily congested. So drive safe and keep a cool head, everyone. Now, in mobility news, Volvo has a new distributor in the Philippines. BNC Mobility correspondent G. Baroga takes a closer look at Harry's plans to accelerate the Swedish brand's growth in the country.
Volvo Cars Philippines is embarking on an exciting new chapter with Harry Field Asia Resources Inc. or Harry now behind the wheel as the official distributor. Harry's Vice Chair, President and CEO Maria Fe Perez Agudo is driving the brand toward a bold future, and she is sharing her vision for what's to come.
Give me a chance to perform better. Give me a chance to bring better value to the brand so that more and more cars can be available on the road. So that every minute I can see a Volvo car in every part of the country.
While Harry is focused on reconnecting with loyal Volvo customers, Agudo is also eager to attract those who have long admired the brand.
There's a lot that we have to do more, and we want to do it more. This time, we want to do it better. We want to do it right. Definitely.
Sustainability is also a major focus for Harry as it partners with Volvo to make a greener future a reality. One of their big moves is the development of fast charging stations to make electric driving even more accessible.
Today, it's really fast charging anymore because in less than 30 minutes, you could charge 10 to 80%, and you're back to your 470 kilometers. So that's why, as I've said, forget about anxiety range. It's not.
Mikael Nilsson, Retail Operations and Aftermarket Manager for Asia Pacific Importers at Volvo, also emphasizes that safety remains a top priority for the brand, alongside its commitment to sustainability.
At Volvo Cars, we try to be a little bit leader in, when it comes to sustainability and safety. So we were the inventor of the 3-point seatbelt, that's I think most people are aware of, and we made the technology available for everyone. And we have always talked about these things, even before it became, mainstream.
Over the next 5 years, Volvo aims to electrify at least 90% of its global sales and reduce carbon dioxide emissions per vehicle by up to 75%. The brand's latest fully electric subcompact SUV, the EX30, is already available in the Philippines. This model has the lowest carbon footprint of any Volvo to date.
This Volvo EX30 is made from recycled aluminum, steel, and plastic, with production facilities powered by renewable energy. This aligns with the brand's goal of achieving net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2040. For BNC Mobility, G. Baroga.
Now, a local designer has found a way to make Christmas trees distinctly Filipino. Find out how in Agatha Gregorio's report.
The Barong Tagalog finds a new home in this unique take on the classic Christmas tree. Various groups came together to launch the Barong project, Transformation Through Traditions, Upcycling Barong for Empowerment at Outside the Box in Pasay. This was done in collaboration with various groups and individuals like the San Juan City Government, the Caring Carry Foundation, and designer Zara Juan, who was the brains behind the unique look of the Christmas decor. The pieces you see right here are made of used barong and scrap metal, and the people who put it all together are persons deprived of liberty or PDLs from San Juan.
Kahit na sila nga po ay maituturing nating nasa loob ng kulungan at deprived of their liberty at the moment, ay meron silang opportunities for livelihood. At kung sila nga po ay masigasig at masipag at makagawa ng halimbawa 10 Christmas tree, that is somewhere between 1,500 to 1,800 pesos already.
One says they will continue accepting orders until December 25 while they still have stock of used barongs from donations.
Pinagliitan na yung iba nagkakaroon ng butas sometimes, and I never wanted to throw them away kasi they're so beautiful. I know they're significant to our culture, and I feel also that we are disrespecting barong if we just keep it in our cabinets or in the box and not really giving it a new life.
The designer also proudly shared that only few Christmas trees are left from this batch, but they plan to launch a new one on December 11 at Green Hills Mall. The upcycling does not end in the holiday season, however, as one said they are ready for a summer collection where a used barong could be turned into a lamp. That's after San Juan Mayor Francis Zamora suggested they market products that could be sold throughout the year. But that isn't to say Zamora was not one of the many drawn to these holiday pieces.
Mas pipiliin ko yung medyo parang tribal look. No? So, yan, iba-ibang klase mga budang nakikita natin. So, it's really hard to choose.
Zamora adds he reached out to various friends to donate old barongs for the project. Agatha Gregorio, BNC.
Now try explaining this to Shakespeare if he was alive. Oxford announces their word of the year is brain rot. This following a public vote of more than 37,000 people and data from language experts. Brain rot refers to the supposed deterioration of a person's mental and intellectual state, especially viewed as the result of overconsumption of trivial material. Experts noticed the word gained new prominence this year to express concerns on excessive consumption of low-quality, short-term online content.
To be fair, I don't think I've used the term brain rot enough this year.
I don't think I've ever used it.
Yeah,
haven't
so
used brain
I'm
rot?
really
Rot
shocked. Maybe, brain yes,
Yeah.
but together,
I
no.
know, I've never used it.
I think probably more in Western countries might be more of a thing. Maybe more in the United States, maybe more
I've
in Europe
never
as well.
heard anybody, like none of my friends use it or family. So that's why I'm shocked.
Most of your friends are here in the Philippines now, so maybe that's it.
True. Well, speaking of brain rot, the first time I'm using the word, a crypto entrepreneur's $1 million purchase has made social media go BANANAS bananas. Justin Sun made the headlines for spending around $6 million or around 365 million pesos on an artwork featuring a banana duct taped to a wall. He eventually took a bite at one of Hong Kong's priciest hotels. The crypto mogul was among the 7 bidders for the controversial art piece, which was named Comedian. And according to a New York Times report, the fruit vendor who sold the banana was shocked after learning that the produce he sold for 25 cents commanded an eye-popping price. Oh, I feel bad for the vendor. 25 cents to like millions of dollars?
And it's crazy. You pay 300 million pesos and then you get the banana and eat it.
That better be the best banana
sense.
he's ever had in his life.
I have no words because that
It's
is
absolutely crazy.
the most
Bananas.
expensive
Bananas,
banana
exactly.
that has ever been eaten, guaranteed. After all of that,
That's
pero grabe.
nuts.
But you know what? Maybe after hearing that, maybe an appropriate Christmas gift this year could be a bunch of bananas because
Maybe. Take
we have
photos.
around 20. How many days left before Christmas? Lapas lang sa tinda. December the 4th. I'm Paolo del Rosario.
No, check first how many days.
21 days left before Christmas. Thank you for joining us today.
We love you, Pao. We love you. No, but Pao really is getting ready for his dance for our Christmas party tomorrow. But anyway, I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Wherever the day takes you, don't forget to spread love and kindness and pack your own sunshine. And I'm Monique Tuzon. Stay safe. And we hope you all have a great day ahead. Join us again tomorrow at 7 a.m. You'll see more of Pao's speed.